Hello, beautiful people of YouTube. I hope you're doing fantastic. I know if you're here, you're trying to improve your speaking skills, and maybe you're doing it at home, or you don't have someone to practice with, or you don't speak in an English speaking country, and I totally get you. I went through the same thing, but today I want to share 4 things that I do to improve my speaking skills. And I'm not saying that I speak perfectly, I still make mistakes sometimes, but that's part of the process, okay? So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, the first one is shadowing. And I bet you have heard this one before in other channels, but this is a must to do. Shadowing is when you're listening to an English native speaker and just repeat whatever they say, like in a movie or a show or a podcast. With this activity, you're not trying to understand or translate everything word by word, or you're more focused on their intonation, pronunciation, and the rhythm. The second thing I focus on is vocabulary. Vocabulary is key for fluency in English. I personally don't like to memorize random words, random verbs that I probably won't use. So instead, I focus on 2 to 3 new words every day, and then probably from movies or a book. I don't watch a lot of TV or series, but I do read almost every day. So sometimes I will come across new words. I will just put them down and then look up for the meaning and come up with my own sentences using these new words. So for example, if I came across this word breakthrough, I will make a couple of sentences. For example, this video was a real breakthrough in my English learning. Then I repeat the sentence a couple of times, and I believe this is how I make a new word mine. I even record sometimes myself speaking to myself in English, and then I review it later on, and I see if I made a mistake, I would just correct myself in real time. But you have to do this consistently because it takes time to learn new words. Sometimes we may think, oh, I know this word, but you may not use them. Why? Because we have active and passive vocabulary. So the active vocabulary is what comes to mind when we're speaking without effort. They just come out, okay? So passive vocabulary is something that we know, we understand, and this is what happens to a lot of people. They understand what they're saying, or they understand what they're reading, but they cannot fully say them or use the vocabulary. Now we have the third one, and this is actually speaking in English. And it sounds obvious, but a lot of people just don't do it enough. If you're always trying to translate everything from one language to the other, as long as you're pronouncing the word correctly, you don't have to worry about the accent, because the accent comes later, comes by itself. Now we have the last one, and this one is related to the previous one. Talking can be a little bit tricky because you have to express your thoughts, ideas, emotions, or anything that comes to mind. Like, how do you put something that is in your mind into words? That is another skill. It's not about the accent, so please get that off your mind. It's about the pronunciation. So these are 2 different things. And I honestly used to talk a lot to myself, not anymore sometimes, but this helped me to acquire the English language in a way that I may sound sometimes like an English native speaker. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes, but then I realized that even English native speakers make mistakes. And that's okay. If they make mistakes like I do, it's fine. So when I change my perspective by saying, okay, I don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I started to speak more and more and more until I just don't care what other people think. And this has actually allowed me to make friends in an English speaking country. Before moving to Canada, I didn't speak the language. It was challenging. I did take some courses, but that wasn't enough. I think I was too confident after moving here that I wouldn't have any issues, but I did at the beginning. And that's why I had to go to school again, take ESL classes, and then college. It's been a journey, but I'm making this video for 2 things. To get out of my comfort zone. This is something new. I'm not used to recording myself But this is something fun. Like, I do think it's something that I would do for some time. So if you like this video, like and comment. And the second thing is, I want to encourage other people to not give up. I think at some point I wanted to quit. I didn't want to do anything with English because it can be overwhelming, a lot of information. But if I would do it again, I would just tell myself, do it step by step. Don't think about the outcome, it's about the journey. So please let me know what country you're watching this video from, and I'll see you in my next video.